Now the military is building a big complex under the ballroom.
Wait, what now?
Now the military is building a big complex under the ballroom, which has come out recently because of a stupid lawsuit that was filed. But the military is building a massive complex under the ballroom, and that's under construction, and we're doing very well. So we're ahead of schedule. That's part of it. The ballroom essentially becomes a shed for what's being built under the military, including from drones and including from any other thing.
The ballroom is actually a cover for a giant underground military base?
Now the military is building a big complex under the ballroom, which has come out recently because of a stupid lawsuit that was filed.
When was that going to get brought up? Never, I guess. It only got brought up because people who wanted to maintain the historical sanctity of the White House or whatever filed a lawsuit, and then it was disclosed that actually, yeah, we're building a giant military base underneath the White House. Okay, there's going to be a giant military complex underneath. For what purpose?
Can you tell us more about this massive military complex underneath the president's new ballroom?
I cannot tell you more about that, actually, as a matter of fact. However, the military is making some upgrades to their facilities here at the White House, and I'm not privy to provide any more details on that this time. Caroline, go ahead. Reagan.
Thanks, okay. Caroline. Question on the middle.
So we're funding this, by the way. Taxpayers are always funding this stuff. The ballroom, not so much. And also, why are private donors funding the ballroom? What do they get out of it? They get something. I guarantee you they get something. I mean, are they buying safety, physical safety from some nuclear event? Some sort of cataclysmic event? What are they buying exactly? And by the way, we're not allowed to know anything about what the military complex is going to be used for. And I'm sure they do what they always do. Oh, it's a matter of national security. Okay. That's how they hide trillions of missing dollars from the budget. You know? Like, there's so much missing money from our government. And they're like, oh, well, we can't tell you what we spent that money on because it's top secret. It's like, when are people going to wake up and realize that the government uses your safety and the threat of, oh, my God, well, you know, if we tell you what we did with this money, then that's a safety concern. So you could just be totally unaccountable as long as you say that's a matter of national security. That's a great way to get away with a lot of crimes. A lot of criminal activity could definitely be covered up with that kind of thinking. And the way people go along with it, so many people in this country just go along with it. They're like, oh, yeah, that's a matter of national, it's classified. We don't want our military secrets getting out. I mean, I even saw comments on these videos where Trump, everybody's pissed at Trump because he let the cat out of the bag. Oh, he's giving away our military secrets. What an idiot. First of all, other countries have intelligence officers who probably know all of our classified shit, or almost all of it. So I don't really think that Trump just gave away a military secret. In fact, regular people have been saying for years and years and years that there is a massive underground military operation, or at least military-built operation in this country. I've heard a lot about underground tunnels, underground cities. I've seen a bunch of probably fake AI-generated videos of people saying they were down there. But this stuff has been floating around for decades and decades, these rumors about a tunnel that can connect, Los Angeles to New York City. It's a highway and there's high speed rail down there and blah, blah, blah. It does kind of make you wonder, they were going to keep this a secret from everybody. The ballroom was just a front. And, I actually had a thought about that ballroom. When they said they were going to build that ballroom, I was like, why? Like, there's so much, especially Trump, because there's so much going on in the world. And the dude's like, you know what we need at a time like this? A ballroom. What? Even the way he ran for president, like all his talking points, none of them were about how, the biggest crisis facing this nation is a lack of a beautiful ballroom at the White House. So this whole ballroom thing was always a front for something else. I want to show you a clip that I saw recently.
But there is a history of near extinction events. And one of the things that I've looked at, because I'm trying to figure out, between fiscal 1998 and fiscal 2015, there were 21 trillion of undocumentable adjustments in the U.S. government. If you go to our website, missingmoney.solera.com, we have years and years of documentation, including the government financials that show this. And so the question is, where's all this money going? And one of the things I've looked at in the process of looking at where all this money is going is the underground base and city infrastructure and transportation system that's been built. And
I'm sorry?
Yes. So we have built an extraordinary number of underground bases and supposedly transportation systems. Some of these are some of these are documented as part of the national security infrastructure. I think there are many more. So
in the United States?
In the United States, all over the world. But from 2021 to 2023, I took one of the smartest subscribers in the Solera Report network, and he and I spent 2 years collecting all the data and all the allegations on underground bases. And then we systematically went through and tried to estimate our guess. This is totally a guess of how many underground bases, both underground in the United States, but also underground under the ocean around the United States. And our estimate was 170 with a transportation network connecting them.
And what would be the purpose?
The purpose, if you thought you were going to get a near extinction event, so there, to me, there are two purposes. You have so many activities going on that you need to keep secret, that you're basically building the capacity to, for example, if you're doing a secret space program, you need to platform it from things that can't be seen. But I think if you're worried about a near extinction event, that's
one thing that is like pretty shocking to me that I never thought was real until recently. I'm starting to suspect that there's a lot more to it. With the release of the Epstein files, it does seem like people in high positions of power and authority, world leaders, are engaged in pedophilia, number one, and also satanic rituals that sometimes involve human sacrifice, particularly of young children. Now, if you have a bunch of secret underground tunnels and underground cities, that would also allow for a huge trafficking operation to pretty much be perpetrated by a government, world leaders, very wealthy people, donors. If you wanted to become one of the people who could commit crimes with impunity, you might be able to donate money to building a ballroom or whatever, and then have access to these tunnels, have access to safety if there were a nuclear event or some other catastrophic situation. So maybe the donors for the ballroom are actually buying their way into something. Maybe they're buying their way into a criminal activity. Maybe they're buying their way into safety. I don't know. But all very strange. And this is stuff that's been talked about for a long time. And when people talk about it, they get shut down. Oh, that's crazy. Oh, that's conspiracy theory. Oh, that's so stupid. I mean, it's the same thing that they do with everything. You talk about COVID. Oh, you're not allowed to talk about, the thing that we inject into your arm. You're not allowed to talk about that. Oh, it might be unhealthy, or there might be something wrong with that medical product, or that whatever that thing is. Oh, you're not allowed to say anything about it. Otherwise, you're crazy. I don't know. They said Pizzagate was crazy. Then we saw Epstein files, and I'm not really sure that is crazy. I don't think it is beyond comprehension or beyond something. I think that's something that could actually happen. These huge trafficking rings that we think don't exist, but maybe they do. I don't know how else you could explain some of these Epstein emails. But I want to show you some stuff regarding the underground cities that I've seen before.
All across North America, there are hidden places built deep below the surface that most people don't even know exist. Denver Airport Tunnels, Colorado. Under Denver International Airport is a large system of tunnels not open to the public. These tunnels were built to move luggage and people between terminals. Some people believe the tunnels also hide secret bunkers for government use in case of emergency. Others think the airport is connected to the Illuminati or even aliens, but there's no real proof of this. There's a time capsule at the airport with symbols from the Freemasons, which adds to the mystery. Strange art at the airport, like creepy murals and a giant blue horse with glowing red eyes, has made people think something dark is going on. The horse statue even killed its artist during construction, which added to the fear and rumors. Airport signs now joke about the conspiracy theories with things like "Welcome to the Illuminati headquarters." Even though there are real tunnels underground, most of what people believe is just stories and fun rumors.
So I live in Colorado, and I've been to the Denver airport many a time. The fact that they have a time capsule there with Freemason markings on it is just crazy. The fact that they do decorate the airport with like little Easter egg like references to the Illuminati and underground and reptilians and blah blah blah. You could say, oh, it's just like a marketing kind of thing. They're just kind of making fun of it. I don't know. I think what they're doing is they're actually making it seem silly on purpose. They want you to think that it's silly. They want you to think that it's a joke. I don't know that it is a joke. And the more I learn about Freemasons, because there's a lodge near my house, actually. There's a Freemason lodge near my house. And it's always empty. Like, I never see anybody there. But whoever, it's maintained. They have trash service that comes every week. I never see anybody there. But somebody's taking care of the property. I was always wondering, like, what is it about these secret societies? Like, what is so secret? What are people doing? Like, and they try to play it off, the Freemasons, they play it off like it's just like this, it's just, it's a networking thing. And that's how they get people involved. The more I see these kinds of like Freemasons involved with the Denver airport and Freemasons involved in Epstein files and Freemasons involved in at the highest levels, 33rd degree Mason involved in, activities with underage children. The more I start to think that there's actually something really sinister going on. And I think that our taxpayer money is being used and funneled to support all of this stuff, to support not only the underground cities, but also being used to support criminal operations. I think taxpayer money is literally being used to fund human trafficking.
So, but you believe that there's a whole constellation of underground bases built by the U.S. government in the United States. Like that fact alone, just the physical infrastructure of it, because normally talk about what are
It's
they doing?
enormously expensive.
Well, it's unbelievable. And like it raises lots of practical questions. How do you ventilate them? What about food and water supply? You know,
Where's the energy? Are we using breakthrough energy or?
where's the energy come from?
Right. Right, because I'm sure that we have the ability to produce breakthrough energy at very low cost. You know, if you go back,
Why are you sure of that?
My Dutch partners, I met because they were doing a series of conferences on breakthrough energy, and they brought together breakthrough energy inventors from around the world. And you know, you can see all the videos up on the internet, and really went through the history from Tesla on of different inventors who have discovered and claimed different innovations with breakthrough energy. And I'm convinced that this energy exists, and I'm also convinced if you look at a lot of the really fast ships, you know, flying around the planet, you know, that they, you know, they're not using classical electricity.
They're not using-
Right. So, you know,
They're not running on diesel.
right, exactly. Right. So,
Yeah. So we know that these, I'm sorry I get so caught up in the details, but we know that there are quite a number of large underground bases in the United States. We can just take that as fact.
right.
So I think what's clear is we certainly have a government, and I think it extends far beyond the government. We have a group of people, probably people who are under some sort of oath of secrecy. I think it extends beyond just government secrecy. I think it is probably has to do with secret societies. I think it probably has to do with Skull and Bones, Freemasonry, a lot of these hazing rituals that you see at sororities and fraternities. I think those might be gateways into these other secret societies where people are basically given, you know, positions of power. They're given opportunities. They're given the jobs. They're given the money. They're given the contracts. They're given all these things in exchange for essentially what's a lifetime oath of loyalty to these organizations that then operate in secret, take taxpayer money, use it as they see fit. We never know anything about it. Or if we do know anything about it, we're told that we're crazy. It's a conspiracy. Or if somebody starts speaking out too much, what happens to those people? They get unalived, or, oh, they committed, suicide or whatever. It's like, there is clearly a population of people, and I don't know how big it is, but there is a population of people that basically live with no rules, and they're allowed to just commit absurd amounts of crime, and there's no one holding them accountable. I mean, look at Epstein. I don't even think that guy's been held accountable. I don't think for 1 second that guy, you could say, oh, he was killed in prison. I don't know about that. I don't even think that I believe that. I think he's out. I also think Ghislaine Maxwell's out.
But fighting wars and other things. But this is very important because this is going to be with us for a long time, and it's going to be, I think it'll be the greatest ballroom anywhere in the world. It's the highest level. The same height, exact height, if not higher, same height as the White House, exactly the same height. And if you look, you have the White House over here, you have this, and that's a duplicate of the wall, so it pays total homage to the White House, which is, I think, very important.